Hi, my name is Avonlea Thalmann, and this is my submission for the interview. I'm just going to go over my e-portfolio, the whole thing, of some of the cool projects that I've done in my computer science classes at my school. So this is my homepage. Here's a picture of me. Hello, my name is Avonlea Thalmann. Currently, I'm a Gold Lake High School student, and I'm interested in pursuing a career through the Air Force, through the Air Force Academy. I have a background in cybersecurity, and I've been in computer science/tech for 3 years now. Down here, this is a picture of me last year in 2024 at the Michigan Governor's High School Cyber Challenge with my team, where we competed and got 7th place in the state. And then at the bottom here, I have a quote by Nathaniel Hawthorne, who's one of my favorite authors, that says, "Happiness is like a butterfly, which when pursued is always just beyond your grasp, but which, if you were to will sit down quietly, may alight upon you." I really like his books. And then at the bottom, I also have a link to my YouTube channel, which you can click on and it'll take you to my channel where I have all the vlogs that I have put on my e-portfolio on the other sections. And then down here as well, I have a link to my GitHub that has my sandbox and networking things from past years. So first I'm going to go to the computer science page. I'm going to go to Intro to Computer Science. I took this in 8th grade when we didn't have portfolios. So basically, I just learned a lot about cyber ethics and the importance of code. So I created apps and things like MIT App Inventor, which you can't really click on these because I don't have the account for it anymore since I did it in middle school. And then this was at Code HS, which is basically like an if or button. So like if I do this, if I type you're at school one day when suddenly the teacher gets a phone call, she tells you to head to the office. So if I say yes, it'll give me more story, but I can also say no, and it'll give me a different thing. And so it's basically like a choose your own adventure story almost that I did with an if-then statement in Python. So that was one of my favorite projects for that class. And then in computer science and software engineering, the first thing that we did was installing Linux Ubuntu. So here's a link to VMware Station, which is the hypervisor that we use when we're installing virtual machines and running them. And then this is a link to the Linux page where you can download Ubuntu, which is probably my favorite Linux flavor. Then over here I have my blog on YouTube, which you can check out all the way at the bottom where I have the link to my YouTube channel, or you can just click right here and it'll play my video. So then next, we worked on the command line interface. So in my blog, I talk about the command line interface user commands and the file commands. Here's just a few pictures, screenshots of my commands that I did. And then this is a cheat sheet that I used, which helped me to write the commands down if I forgot them, like grep and ls, like to list the files and things like that. And then I have a link to my engineering notebook in Notion, which or in Microsoft Word, which I took on the command line interface originally before I switched over to Notion. So then next, we have my updating the Linux VM, which I have another vlog talking about how I update the OS. You just type in the command line interface sudo apt get update. And at this resource right here, it talks about the benefits of updating to the latest OS version, which has like security, faster operation, new features, thing like that. But you can check that out if you click on my link. Next is my Python programming. So this was a really fun thing to do. We used GitHub, GitKraken, PyCharm, and things like that to make a what's it called? Like a weather type thing. So like for a car, we made some things in a car where when you get in, it'll tell you like the weather, how much gas you have, how much traffic there is, things like that. And we just had it kind of randomized. So when you hit a button, since it's not connected to an actual car, we were just like demonstrating what we could do with the code. So when you hit a button, it would give you random numbers for each of the criteria. So I have a vlog showing off the branches in my GitHub or in my GitKraken, and then I have a video of me merging my branches into the beta test dev spot. Here is a link to GitKraken if you want to use it for something. Here's a link to PyCharm, which is what we use to write the actual code, if you want to download that. And then another link to my GitHub here. which actually has the code that we used. So see, if X, write this, print operating system loaded, retina scan access granted. So like you're allowed to get into your car by it scanning your retina, and if that's true, then they print it, and then you see it in the output. Then right here, this is just a link to a programming job that I found on LinkedIn. It's about using Python and things like that, Python developers, and so that's just a cool little thing as an example of what you can do with this kind of knowledge. Down here, this is my PC builder simulator. This is a fun little game where you can go in and you'll have clients that drop off their PCs and they'll say, hey, there's a problem with it, and you have to try to fix it and then give it back to them for money. And so it kind of teaches you how to put together a PC, all the pieces that go with it, and you can do it like in a story mode, like how the people come in and they give you tasks to do and it teaches you how to do it, or you can just do free build where you go in and build whatever kind of PC you want. So I have a vlog for both of them showing off both of the things that are both modes that you can do, and then there's a link to PC Building Simulator if you want to play it. It's by Epic Games. And then there's a link to PC Part Picker, which you can go on to and like look up the type of PC you have and then find the compatible parts if you want to build your own. Down here is the Sphero Bolt. This was also a fun thing to do. I worked with some partners and we used Sublime and Get Kraken to get the which I already have the links to those things up there that I showed you, but the Sphero it's this little robot thing right here with a little screen on top, and it rolls and you code it with Python to have it like move through a maze, and it'll change colors and play sounds and things like that. This is just me showing off the branches, but I can show here the video of it going through the maze. So it starts here, and then after you hit start, it starts moving, and then it'll stop and turn blue, as you can see right there, and then it'll play a noise, and then it turns this way, and then it goes this way and turns red, and yeah, that's basically it. Then my GitHub again, which this is the code for it. So it starts the maze, goes 30 centimeters, then blue checkpoint, it turns blue, set main LED, blue 255, so it turns all the way blue. And yeah, if you want to check out the code, it's there. My Tello EDU drones, it was technically a competition, but I don't know if anybody really finished it. But I worked with a partner, and we had this drone flying, and it would go through, in a second here, it'll fly through the hoops that are on the ceiling. And so we had a program that my team worked on together. This is the code that we used to get the Teledrone to fly through it. And then this is just like some things that we did for fun. So there was a part where we had to make them fly through the hoops, and a part where we just messed around and had it go do flips, go in circles, things like that. And this is the code that I used for it to do that. SDK, this is a software development kit. It outlines the development tools for set applications of different products. So this is a software development kit for the software to make the Tello EDU. So this teaches you like the commands and things that you need to do in order to program the Tello drones to do what you want them to do. So that's what we use. And then I have videos of the drones going in circles. That's me. So there it is, going in a circle. The cameraman's kind of shaky, but yeah, that's what the sandbox program did for that. So then we're going to hit the back to top button. Takes us back up here. So we've gone through all of this. Now I'm going to go through my cybersecurity page. With security page, I talk a lot about Cyber Patriot. So the first thing I did was Windows 10. I did the 2 training rounds for it. And it wasn't initially as challenging as I thought it would be. I had recently worked with Linux, and I didn't do a lot of Windows, so I was kind of scared. But after a little bit, as you can see, I got used to it. I got 100 out of 100 on my first training round, and 83 out of 100 on the second one. And those were just the training rounds for Cyber Patriot competitions, which I'll delve into a little further later. And then this is just a link to my Notion notes for Windows 10. I have like Doomsday notes for my training rounds that has all the things I did and how I did them and why they're important. So you can check that out. Then down here is round 1 of the Michigan Governor's High School Cyber Challenge. So to advance to round 2, you have to get a certain amount of points in a website called TryHackMe, which is like it's similar to Hack the Box, where it's like walkthroughs and you have to answer questions and you get points for answering like finishing rooms that you're in. And if you get a certain amount of points, then you can advance to the round 2. Here I have
Hi, my name
an
is.
explanation that goes a little bit deeper into TryHackMe if you want to check that out. And then I have some notes about some of the rooms that I did in that. And then luckily I got enough points to advance to round 2, as I said before. I have the pictures from the competition. There's me with my team last year. Here's us competing in the Capture the Flag competition. And then there's us again standing there. So when you get to round 2, you go to Novi, Michigan, which is kind of near Detroit, and you just basically compete in a Capture the Flag against 11 other teams, and we placed 7th. So we got 7th in the state overall for the Governor's High School Cyber Challenge. And then this is just a link to SANS, which SANS is the company that runs this event. And this is the training overviews and stuff for their company. Next is Cyber Patriot. Just like what I did for Windows 10. But since I didn't end up working in Windows 10, I ended up working for Packet Tracer, which is a topology software where basically you just work with routers and switches um, and devices and modems and things like that to connect networks and do services and protect devices from malware and things like that, which is basically what cybersecurity is all about. Over here, we have a link to my Cyber Patriot, or not to my Cyber Patriot, but to the Cyber Patriot website. So right here, if you want to check out Cyber Patriot, which is what I was doing Packet Tracer for, you can check that out. You get points for competing in cybersecurity competitions where you do machines, and you get points for fixing vulnerabilities and things like that. And then you can win awards for it. You can go to Maryland for the national round. It's really cool. I would check it out. And then this is just a vlog of me going over the thing that I did in Packet Tracer for this incident report that I have. So you can watch the vlog and see me talk about it, or you can just click on it and look through it yourself, where I just talked about the things that I did in round 2 for Packet Tracer. Here's the Western Michigan University Cyber Summit. So for the Western Michigan University Cyber Summit, I've done this for 2 years. This is a picture from my first year there with my classmates, and then this is a picture of my second year, which is this year, there with my classmates. And then here's a picture of us at the table during the conference, eating the snacks that they gave out. So basically, it's a cyber summit where there's people working in real world cybersecurity problem solving. They go up there on the stage and they talk about what their jobs are like. The first year I played Cybersecurity Jeopardy against professionals, and I got second place, even though I was against professionals, which was kind of crazy for me. And then the second year, an FBI cybersecurity expert who graduated from Gull Lake High School, his name is Brett Leatherman, he came on and talked up on the stage, and then we competed in a Capture the Flag challenge hosted by WMU's Raven team. And we placed a third as a high school among college and professional teams. So like this is Raven. It's WMU's cybersecurity team company. They work with a lot of crazy things. The owner is Lachlan McElroy. He came to our school actually and talked to us about it a lot. And they even worked on like things about Salt Typhoon, a cyber attack from China, where they sent the information that they learned to the actual government, and they used that information, which is pretty cool. And then this is just a link to the Cyber Summit if you want to go, if it would like to load. It's an older website that isn't like you can't register right now, so it's not used very much. But yeah, This is the link to the Cyber Summit, so if you want to go to it, this year it was on October 9th. It's probably going to be on a different date next year, but yeah. And then here's our score of us script kiddies. Oops. You can see script kiddies in third place, high schoolers, undergrads, and undergrads. So, yeah, we placed third under actual professional college teams. Cisco Net Academy, as I said, I worked on this for Packet Tracer, for Cyber Patriot. It's like it teaches you how to do Packet Tracer basically, and there's little modules that you can follow. This is just about me doing Lab 2.9.1, which is basic switch and end device configuration. I have some screenshots of the commands that I did, so it gives you a scenario over here, and then you go in the CLI of some sort of device, fix things. I have lots of pictures and videos down here where I explain it. And in my notes, I have notes about training round 2, which is doing 2.9.1. These are just numbers that I used for switches because sometimes they're in variables of 64. And so I wanted to remember it and just left those on there so I could remember. So maybe that would be helpful for you too. And then GitHub, I have the files for 2.9.1 for my KeyPass, Packet Tracer, and just the thing in general. And then down at the Cyber Patriot semifinals, which I competed in my first year, we won first place in the state in gold tier for the Cyber Patriot semifinals, showing our dedication and teamwork to cybersecurity. I personally achieved first place in the state for Packet Tracer, which just like shows my understanding for the network configuration and things like that. Here's the picture of us when we won, standing against the wall. And over here, this is our team, Team 170146, getting first place in gold and getting the highest score. Look at that, 69.265. The second highest score was 24 in the state. That's crazy. Anyways, and then here's just another link to the Cyber Patriot page if you want to check that out. I have this year's Cyber Patriot page. Right here is another link to Cyber Patriot. This is a picture of my team from this year. So, over here, Windows 10, Ubuntu 22, and Windows Server 2019. These are my scoring reports for the training rounds of each of these. I got 100 out of 100 on all of them. And I really enjoyed Windows more than Ubuntu, even though I think Ubuntu's a little bit less GUI and it's more command line interface. Here's my notes for all 3 of the training rounds that I showed you. I have Windows, Linux, Cisco Netacad, which, had a little bit of training round in it. They didn't really have a whole lot of that, though. And yeah, so that was this year's. And then lastly, what we have on here is Hack the Box. This is, like I said, kind of like Try Hack Me. I have a vlog showing off a couple of my favorite rooms that I did. So the first one we have is Brutus, which is like, it's most of the rooms are just, they give you like a file and then you have to figure out and answer questions about the things that happen based on the information that they give you. We did 5 rooms. We did Brutus, Mango Bleed, Dream Job 1, Dream Job 2, and Pika PT. I don't even know how to pronounce that. But so the last one we did is a competition against another team, and I ended up winning. I go through some of the things on here in my vlog, and then I have links on every single. You have to sign in to be able to see it, but I'll still show you this one. To every single room that I did, there's a link to Hack the Box to that specific room, but you do have to log in to be able to see them first. So since I'm logged in, you have to have an account to go to them, but I did complete them. Here they are in their glory. And I did all of them. This one, I think maybe I think Mango Bleed was probably my favorite one out of all of them. I think that one was the most fun. And then, very last, making networking cables. So what we did is we took cables and then we cut them and sorted them, and we made a straight through and a crossover cable. A straight through cable is used to connect different types of devices, like a computer to a switch or a router to a modem, and then a crossover is used to connect like the same thing, like two computers or two switches to each other. And so here's just the pictures of what I did. Um, sorry, this is really slow. So basically, I'm trying to get to number one, but this is really slow. Yeah. Here's the box of materials that we had. First, I cut the little wax stuff off the wires with the cutter, and then I spread the wires out, spread them out again, untangled them, then I straightened them, then I put them in order. This is the order of a straight through cable, and then we put the little clasp on, and then put it into the machine right here. As you can see, it going straight through. And then on this one is the crossover, so it should be in opposite orders of what's going on. And then I have a vlog talking about these and then showing these videos a little more in depth. And then this is just a picture of like the straight through cables and then the crossover. So this is the order that I used for those things. So we're going to go back to the top. Now I'm just going to go over my resume, which isn't super long since I'm only a high school student. I already talked about my career aspirations with a future in technology or engineering through the Air Force Academy. My education, it's just go like high school. My core curriculum, English, algebra, geometry, all those things. I've taken 4 AP classes, and then these are my technical ed classes with all my computer science. And then my extracurriculars, I've done Cyber Patriot for 3 seasons actually. I did Cyber Patriot 14 in 7th grade, and then these 2 have been the last 2 years. I did Student Senate, Model UN, book club, biochemistry camp, strategic intelligence camp, and then with athletics, I've done tennis, volleyball, just basically tennis and volleyball. That's it. Technical skills, I already kind of went through that with my cybersecurity, virtual machines, VMware, Linux, Cyber Patriot, programming with Python, JavaScript, GitHub, GitKraken, and Hack the Box, like I showed on my cybersecurity page. And then just some accomplishments. 3rd place in the country at Can-Am, which is Canada/America, so teams from both Canada and America are playing, obviously. 1st place at the Lakeview Volleyball Invitational. I got 2 poems published in Serial City Review. 1st place in Michigan for Packet Tracer in the Cyber Patriot State Round and semifinals. Governor Cyber High School Cyber Challenge, which I already talked about earlier, 7th place. 2 more poems published in the 2nd edition of Serial City Review, and then I got the 2nd place award at volleyball again. And then lastly, just my contact me page. So if you want to send me an email, ask me any questions after this, you can shoot me a message and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can and respond to you. But yeah, thanks for watching this video and thank you for the interview opportunity. I hope to see myself working with you in the future, and if you have any questions or comments, you can just shoot me an email on my ePortfolio or just respond to anything that I've submitted. Thank you for the interview opportunity.